In space, no one can hear you scream.
Which is unfortunate because I have a lot to tell you about space. You see, for thousands of years, mankind has been looking up and staring at the stars, and only in recent times have we been able to use telescopes to look thousands, millions of miles away. But before Galileo, we were just looking up there with our naked eyes. So, what did our ancients see, and what did they describe? Let's start with the word star. Now, star is a very old word. The Proto IndoEuropean root is stare. And in other Indo-European languages, it's understandably similar. In Italian, you have stella. In German, you have Stern. In Spanish, you have estrella. And you can kind of hear that there's a connection there, even just from the modern words. The word stare has given us a couple words in English, like asterisk, constellation, and disaster. A disaster is a bad star. Think of it like the opposite of thank my lucky stars. The next word I want to talk about is planet. Our word planet comes from the Greek phrase asteris planetae, which means wandering star. So when you think about planets, you might think of planetary motion or planetary gears, where you have the big gear surrounded by little gears. But to our ancients, that's not what the planets looked like. They were just looking out from the Earth. And as we move around the sun, the planets seem to go back and forth across the sky. So while the other stars are fixed in one place in relation to each other, the wandering stars go back and forth all year as they go around the sun and us. So they describe them as wandering. The next word is galaxy. Galaxy comes from the Greek phrase Galaxias kyklos, which is connected to a Proto IndoEuropean word, which leads us to a Proto IndoEuropean word web. Let's start at the Proto IndoEuropean root glog, or galog. We don't know if that A was in there, because after all, we don't know what Proto IndoEuropean sounded like. It splits in two. I'm going to talk about the Latin side first. The Latin word for milk was lac, and the Latin word lutuca, which means lettuce, also comes from the same root, because they described it like it was a milky plant. Like when you break off lettuce, the juice that came out looked like milk. I don't know what kind of lettuce they were eating, but I don't know, I'm not a scientist. This led to the words lactate, lactose, and lettuce in English. And the Italians gave us the word latte. You see, when they opened cafes in Italy, they would have coffee with milk, and the way to say that in Italian is cafe latte. And latte also comes from the Latin word for milk, lac. So that means that our word latte is related to the word for lettuce and lactate and lactose. Now let's get to the main event, the Greek. The way to say Milky Way in Greek is Galaxia kyklos, which means milk circle. Because you have to remember that the Milky Way just looks like a circle around the sky that looks kind of like milk. That's why we call it the Milky Way to this day. But that has given us the word galaxy, because that's the only galaxy that we could see back then was our own. I think this is an interesting word web because it shows words that you wouldn't expect to be related, but they are related to the exact same initial word in a language that was spoken 5,000 years ago. Blows my mind. So as you can see, the ancients explained what they saw, and those words that they used, like wanderer or milk, has snuck into our language to mean things totally different. Thank you for watching Word Nerd. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Put on the bell for the notification of when I upload videos. I upload videos every Monday. Have a great day. Do svidania.